Recording in progress.
Test one. Test one. Test one. పోలా అవుతామో ఈయన ప్రశ్న అయ్యో జీవితంలో బిల్లు ఇవ్వను రాత్రి Còn cái đá đi. Cô sẽ bắt đầu từ đầu vậy. Wah, kung dia nangis, dan itu paling nanti. Hah? Oh,
ඒක නෑ ඇති. Sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
කොහමද? කට්ටිය තාම මන්දි නේද? Participants ලා.
ඒක තමයි චුට්ටක් බලමු නේද sir.
Okay. Hello. Who is speaking, please? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, shall we start? Or how many participants are there?
21.
How
20,
many? How many? 25.
19, 21.
Okay, now it's okay now. Then we'll start. Today, any problem so far? Tell me what you have any problem, the presentation we did up to now? Any misunderstanding or clarification you need? Or you can ask later on, right? Today, we are going to discuss another important area, that is bid evaluation tools. I think you can recall your memory, what we did up to now. We did evaluation process. And we understood evaluation process has various stages. Under each stage, there are a number of activities. If you can remember, we discuss bid opening stage, preliminary bid examination, detailed bid evaluation, post-qualification verification, and finally reports, evaluation reports. So under this process, we generally consider the lowest price is the criteria, the selection criteria, and many other criteria we consider. For example, specification, technical things, commercial things, bid security, etc., etc. Those are, we say whether it is there or not there. If it is there, yes, they pass. Not there, reject. Or if it is a major deviation, we reject. And we consider those who qualify or responsive for a particular bid. So, and if any minor deviations, technical or commercial, so we loaded according to various principles, methods, we loaded something and see what is the lowest evaluated price. Lowest price and lowest evaluated price is two different things. We consider, and finally we selected the lowest evaluated substantially responsive bid, under which we consider all bids are okay. If it is technically okay, commercially okay, they are safe. We didn't give any merits for their technical merits or technical advancement or innovation or whatever. We didn't give much attention. If everything is okay, we consider those are okay and selected the lowest. But I said we can allocate some marks, 10 marks or 20 marks for the quality, and the majority marks we give for price. Then we discuss what is the formula for that. In that aspect, also we didn't discuss much about the tools we are going to use to evaluate. We just discussed the formula, and based on that, we give technical marks and financial marks. Basically, based on the total combined marks we selected. If you consider other things other than works, goods, and service, consultancy also, there are different methods how we can give account to the quality aspect. But here we are not going to discuss the consultancy. I said this works, goods, and consultancy. So there are various tools we have to employ to consider the merits of different aspects. Right, we'll discuss introduction. When evaluating bids for proposal, there are many factors to be considered, such as the price. Price is one. Quality. So quality, earlier we discussed if the quality is okay. Not much about the quality variances, so quality merits. Sustainability, innovation, risk, VFM, experience, and various factors are there. Right? As such, there should be some tools.
So,
for
excuse
tech-
me,
Yes.
PowerPoint has not been shared.
Oh. Now okay.
Now, okay, sir.
All right. Sorry for that. I shared it. I think I don't know. Anyway, again I am telling. When evaluating bids proposal, there are many factors to be considered, such as the price, quality, sustainability, innovation, risk, or experience, staff capacity, many things, VFM. As such, what is this troubling me? Now it's okay, no?
Okay, sir.
Okay. As such, there should some tools or techniques, I say, to take into account such characteristics when evaluating competitive bids by allocating weightages. They considering the importance of each criteria, we give a weightage. For example, we give earlier price 80,000, 80% or 90%, but it is not the case for everything. Sometimes we give 50% because other factors are very important. So then we have to give weightages and calculate how we can select the bid. So basically, we are going to discuss 4 tools to perform an effective bid valuation. Several evaluation tools must be mastered by the evaluators. These are matrix analysis, rated type evaluation, that is introduced by World Bank, risk assessment and evaluation scorecard. Now, first, I think those are more or less same, not much differences, but we must discuss with some examples how different tools can be utilized. In government procurement, in government guideline, we don't discuss the tools as a different methodology, but I studied the international practices, World Bank, ADB, OECD. So they employ different techniques. So for your study purpose, I studied that material and prepared this presentation. So in Sri Lanka, we use some methods. We don't name them as matrix method or whatever. Matrix analysis is an objective technique for evaluating options offering diverse range of attributes. So there are a number of offers. That is the normal case. So they have diverse range of attributes. They are attributes having dissimilar features. So those are not similar. So then we have to consider which proposal to be accepted. In procurement, it is useful tool for evaluating bids because it allows the comparison of unlikely features. For example, after sales service, training, quality, and so on, right? It is objective in that it removes bias and prejudice from the decision. So objective is we must remove the biasness, the bias part and prejudice part, and come to a what we call this reasonable basis without prejudice to evaluate different options. So on the metrics analysis, they say the steps number one, plan your procurement valuation. What are the needs? What are the ratings and weightings of needs based on the criticality of each? For example, if price is okay, always a matter. Say more important thing is experience. Then we must give more weightage and accordingly more marks for experience part. And various other points, say the contractor's financial capability. In addition to price, their financial capability. If you think it's important, we give additional weightage and additional. So second thing, fact, data metrics. So what are the responses to the needs, right? We say quality, what is the response from the bidders? And sometimes we have to get clarifications also to understand their responses. Then third, analytical or decision metrics, we prepare score responses to each need. So we allocate basically criteria, sometimes sub-criteria also, and then summarizes scores, right? It's an example. This is USA example. We do a metrics point-based example. There have been many requests for UCAC, maybe a company, I don't know, maybe in the document. Don't worry about that, to provide guidance with respect to what information should be included as you conduct your bidding process. Below is an example of information that may be helpful. In addition, retaining this type of information will be very helpful if this agency requests this information in the future. This example is not mandatory or intended to serve any other purpose than the response to request for guidance. In this example, each factor is worth same number of points as the weighting percentage, right? We'll see. Vendors are rated on how well they meet each factor. The entries for all factors are then total for each vendor. The winning bidder is the one with the highest number of total points. That is normally we understand highest number of points or score. The cost of the eligible product and service must be weighted most heavily. The cost is a fact, another one, cost. It is always must give a high weightage, right? So these are the points. There are 4 vendors, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are number of criterion given here. There are 7 members, 7 number criteria. Cost of eligible product and service. This is a cost factor. So they have allocated 40 marks for that. Experience, 20 marks. Availability of spare parts and other things, they think is important. For example, if you purchase a critical machine, if the spare part is not available, you can't operate that. So they think it's also important. Availability of status, sorry, not minority business status, some marks. In state preference, I mean like domestic preference. Cost of intangible product 5 marks. And project monitoring management experience, 5 marks. Altogether 100 marks. This is how they have allocated marks based on their information. So they must have some budget. Based on the budget, they have given 38 marks, the maximum for vendor 1, and vendor 2 is the minimum mark because their cost may be high. Vendor 4 is given 0. The reason is given, all interested bidder receive 2 weeks notice of a request, require a pre-bid conference. Vendor 4 did not attend this conference and did not provide a reason for its absence. As a result, they have precluded or excluded that vendor from the evaluation by giving 0 marks. That is their mandatory thing according to American practice. So accordingly, here 20 marks given for vendor 3 for experience. That is the highest company. So lowest mark is only 70. Availability of, so vendor 1 is the most important or critical vendor. But here vendor 2 is getting only 5 marks because their availability may be not satisfactory according to our requirement. Business status all 99 and some percentage 86. State preference 10 marks for the vendor 3. So that is preference, something like our domestic preference. Cost of intangible product, different marks. Project management experience, vendor 3 get 8, vendor 2 get only 1 marks. What is the total marks? Vendor 3 is the winning bidder because it has the highest score. What is the score? 94 marks. Disqualified vendor is vendor 4, right? So that is some idea about the metrics point-based example. The evaluation matrix is a tool that can be used to evaluate submitted bids and identify the one that provides the best value for money. So here also in the concept of value for money they are looking at, right? The matrix allows buyers to score and weight suppliers' responses against the prescribed predefined award criteria. So those are the predefined award criteria. As I mentioned, cost is one factor, experience, and all are predefined criteria. Whilst the evaluation is a key part of the determining of the outcome of your procurement exercise, you must remember that the outcome of any evaluation is ultimately dependent on the award criteria and weightage, award criteria and weightage that you choose, because if you change that one, for example, instead of 50%, 40% for price, if you give 80%, completely different result you get. If you give, for example, instead of 10%, 10 marks of experience, if you give 30 marks, completely different experience, right? That therefore you must decide. Therefore, it is the key that this criteria accurately describe your need and any minimum requirement that should hold a need. So that is another point. So you must identify the weightages and marks allocation based on your need, right? And also, if you identify some minimum marks, for example, this is the minimum. Out of 10, at least 50% should be obtained in order to be qualified. Otherwise, we give 0 for that. If that vendor is not meeting that criteria, we give 0. In our example, no 0 marks, only for bidder 4 is disqualified. The workbook is split into two main worksheets, price and quality criteria. Or other than the price, all others are quality factors. The price criteria worksheet considers the whole life cost. Here also they say the whole life cost. I think you got an idea about the whole life cost or life cycle costing in terms of acquisition, operating, and end of life. That means disposal. To maintain the integrity of the process, it is best practice that members of the evaluation panel do not assess the both the quality, technical elements and the commercial element of the tender. So it is the best practice that members of the evaluation panel to do not access the quality, technical elements and commercial elements of the tender. The model was developed in conjunction with statistician and has been confirmed as fit for the purpose in most procurement. So that is something, a model they have prepared. How do you avoid bias and ensure transparency in bid valuation matrix? The first step to avoid bias and ensure transparency in bid valuation matrix is to define clear and relevant criteria. So you must first identify the clear and relevant criteria for the procurement. These criteria should be based on scope, specifications, and objectives of your project or procurement, as well as the requirements and expectation of your stakeholders, right? So one thing is the objective of the project, other thing is the requirement and expectation of the stakeholder, the end users. Stakeholder is the end user here. One thing is the scope and specification, or we say whatever is objectives of the project or procurement, and the expectation of the end users or stakeholders. You should also assign weightings to each criterion referring to importance, the priority of AQR. The criteria and weighting should be communicated to all bidders in advance so they know how their proposal will be evaluated. I mean, that should be given in the procurement document. Number 2, the use objective and measurable indicators. The second step to avoid bias and ensure transparency in a bid valuation metric is to use objective and measurable indicators. That means basically quantitative indicators. If you give quality indicators, qualitative one, so there's a problem. You should have another methodology how you can rate qualitative one to quantitative. For example, better, good, excellent, those are qualitative characteristics. So we cannot evaluate bids using qualitative. So those are not measurable, right? But if you define excellent means more than 90%, good means 75 to 90, whatever, the way you define, then you can convert qualitative characteristics into quantitative way. These indicators should be based on facts, data, and evidence. So that all indicators should be based on facts and evidence, rather than opinion, preferences, or assumptions. You have to avoid the assumption, preferences, or whatever. All are factually based on data. For example, you can use indicators such as years of experience, number of completed projects, customer satisfaction rating, or compliance certificate, whatever, as the evidence or data. You can remove this one. Understand? You should also define a scoring scale, and scoring method for each indicator, such as points, percentage, or rating. So whatever the way, points, percentage of rating. Here we have used points, not percentages. Third point is involve a diverse and qualified evaluation team. I mean, all depend on the quality of the evaluation team members. The third step to avoid bias and ensure transparency in bid evaluation metric is to involve diverse and qualified evaluation team or panel. The evaluation team should consist of people who have the relevant knowledge, skills, and experience to assess the proposals, as well as authority and accountable to make the final decision. The evaluation team should also represent different perspectives and interests, such as technical, legal, etc. So the team diverse means this different area to be covered, different disciplines to be covered, right? Based on the procurement. The evaluation team should follow consistent and documented process and declare any conflict of interest or personal relationship with the bidders. That is our normal requirement. At the beginning of the evaluation, all team members should give a declaration they have no conflict of interest with the bidders, right? It is there in our country also. Number 4, document and justify the score and decisions. The fourth step to avoid bias, transparency in bid evaluation metric is to document and justify the, you should have document and justify the scores and decisions. So documentary evidence-based evaluation. The evaluation team should record the score and comments for each proposal, as well as rationale and evidence for their choices. So they have records and their comments and rationale, evidence, everything should be there. The evaluation team should also provide feedback to the bidders, explaining the strengths and weaknesses for bidders, like our debriefing, what we do in bid evaluation. We give some explanation to, unsuccessful bidders, why your bid was not selected, in order at least to submit a good bid in the next time. So that is a feedback session. The documentation and justification should be clear, concise, and accurate, and should be available to review and audit if needed, right? That is there. Number 5, review and validate the results. The fifth step to avoid bias transparent in bid evaluation metric is to review and validate the results. The evaluation team should check the accuracy and consistency of the scores and calculation and verify they reflect the criteria and weightage. The evaluation team should also compare and contrast the proposal and find any gaps, risks, and opportunities. Teams should compare and contrast proposal each identify any gaps, risks, and opportunities. All right. Even though this is the high score 1, but any gaps are there, major gaps of considering criteria, gaps are there, even though he is the highest score. And any risk, we'll discuss risk later on in another presentation. Procurement risk at the bidding stage risk and the contract implementation stage risk. And what are the opportunities? Things like that. The event team should also seek input from other stakeholders such as senior management and legal advisor or external expert to validate the results to ensure compliance. I mean, that is called the validation. Validate the results. So the other people also give their opinion, objective opinions, and then we can ensure our decision is correct, especially senior managers. That is not in Sri Lanka, but our system has no provision for that, only within the committee, right? But head of the department or secretary can take decision, right? You all know, if the committee, even though committee has given the recommendation, if the head of the department or the secretary, the line ministry not satisfied, there are a number of actions they can take, right? Similarly, that is also there in our country. And legal advisors, we are not going, but sometimes external experts. External expert means we sometimes utilize experts and we get their their opinion regarding the selection. So
Sir,
those are
excuse
the,
me.
yes,
Let's say the procurement committee and technical committee do the job in well manner.
yeah,
But finally, the decisions goes to the head of the department in order to get approved it is.
yeah.
Then let's say the head of the department will reject the bids. That mean process will the head of the department will call for recalling the tender.
No, no, no. That is not possible. According to our system, it is like this. Supposing the committee recommend lowest bidder or whatever, so then there's another thing. Members, some members, all members, or some members have given dissenting comment also. So they have not agreed because of this. Some dissenting comments also may be there. Assume that. Whatever it is, after reading the evaluation report, the head of the institution think this evaluation is not properly done, right? Then one thing he can do is he can invite both the TEC and procurement committee get together and jointly evaluate. Earlier, TEC separately and procurement committee separately, and they give that recommendation now. Now the head of the department can invite both committee get together and give a joint evaluation. For example, when we have a joint evaluation, supposing if we give marks, scores, or rating, whatever, so then, for example, one member give different marks. For the same thing, another member give high marks or low marks. So there is no agreement. In such a situation, if both committee get together and come to an agreement, consensus, so that is one thing. Even if the joint committee is not agreed to a acceptable recommendation, head of the department can forward that evaluation to another evaluation committee, right? If some factors are there only, right? Or get the opinion of a third party, like external consultants, give a report. Even if it is not agreeable, he can say this recommendation not acceptable, we'll have to rebid, right? Calling rebid or calling new bids. There should be some reason. Head of the department per se, because he is the head, he can't refuse. There should be some objective criteria and facts to take such a decision. There are in our guideline also there are some avenues, opportunities to disagree if he disagrees to the recommendation given by committee. Okay.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. BGM metrics, another example to illustrate how to use a bid evaluation metric. Here is a simple example for a project that requires a supply of office furniture. Office furniture supplier. The critical criteria and weighting are price 40%, quality 30%, delivery 15%, warranty 10%, and sustainability 5%. Sustainability is a different thing we don't consider in our country yet. As I mentioned earlier, green and things like that are coming under sustainability. The indicators and scoring scale are price 10 points, highest bid 0 point for the 0 point for other. Linear inappropriation of other bids, right? Quality ISO 9000 certificate 10 point whatever, I don't know. Point. Delivery by 10 and 0 anyway. Delivery within 2 weeks 10 points, within 4 weeks 5 points. More than 4 weeks 0 points. That's how they have identified the criteria. So their preferable period is 2 weeks. Then they give the maximum 10 points. If it is more than 5 weeks, they give 0 points. That's how they can identify the criteria, weighting and marking. Warranty more than 3 years, 10 points. 3 years, 5 points. Less than 3 years, 0 points. Sustainability certificate, I mean, some certificate 10 points. No certificate, 0 points. So you see that some idea how we can identify the criteria and how we can give weightage for each criteria and how we assign scores, marks. The bids received bidder 100,000 within 2 weeks, right? One thing. Bidder B, bidder A, this one, bidder A. This is too small, I can't read. Bidder B is 900,000, $90,000, this is 100,000, and 4 weeks, no certificate. Bidder C, $95,000, 3 weeks, whatever. The bidder matrix result in the following final ranking: bidder A 75, whatever. So I don't know they have given that. Right, now you try this one. I have not given how A has got 75, B has got 7.2, and quickly you can do workout using the same criteria and weightages. Can you do within 5 minutes? Okay, maximum. You yourself calculate. If we finish, please discuss. Finish or not finish? Okay, tell me, based on the price, who will get the maximum 40 marks? A or B or C?
B.
B, what is his price? What is his price?
90,000.
90,000.
90,000. B is 90,000. Yes. Then what is the marks A get and C get? A get. So who get? B get 40, no? Price
B40.
B 40. A, C, C how much? C ට කොච්චරද හම්බෙන්නේ? 10.
Sir, B is 36, no?
No. B is the lowest, ne? Lowest get the highest, ne? Say 95, 40 divided by 100. Into 95. 38 there.
36, B, C 38.
C 38. Take the mind. A how much? A ට කොච්චරද හම්බෙන්නේ?
A 40, ne?
නෑ A ට 40 හම්බෙන්නේ නෑනේ. A අඩුයි. Price එක වැඩිනේ. So what we have to do is 40 divided by 100,000 into 90,000. 36. Do you know how we calculate that?
Sir, can you go back to
Everybody?
the question?
Huh?
Go back to the previous line, please.
This one.
Oh.
So out of 40, A's price is 100,000, lowest is
So A is
40.
40, no? Sir?
Huh?
So 100,000 means 40%.
No. Lowest man get the highest marks.
Oh, you're putting the
Oh.
price. Okay.
Yeah, 90,000 man get the, what we have to do is, you put 40 marks numerator. Numerator is above the what do you call it? Divide by is denomination, right? Denomination and numerator, ne? Two things. If you put 40 denomination into 90,000 divided by the proper price. For example, if you calculate like this, for example, I'm going to calculate equals 40 into 90,000 now divide by 100,000 equals බලන්න කීයද කියන්නේ? කීයද එන්නේ? 36 ne? Yes. So this is how you have to calculate, right? This is the formula you have used. Similarly, other points. So regarding quality, who will get the highest marks?
A and C.
Sure that I'm calculate करे ना ओगला मैं trust करना. A how much?
30.
A 30. B how much? For බලන්න A මොකක්ද කියන්නේ කියලා. Regarding quality, what the criteria? Quality ISO certificate 10 points. No certification 0 point.
0.
Quality only 10 marks there.
30.
Huh?
30 marks.
30%.
Right. Right. Come on now. It's okay. 30 marks. Then one person has no certification. Neither. B has no
0 marks.
0 marks. Okay. These people has. Okay. Right. Then delivery. How is the marks? Delivery. What is the question say? Delivery within 2 weeks, 10 marks. Within 4 weeks, 5 marks. Okay. What is the question say? A within 2 weeks, he get the maximum, ne? Right?
A 10 marks.
10 marks. B 3 weeks, ne? 7.5, ne? Right? A 10 marks. B, so calculator බලන්න. 5 marks. අරයට මොකද දීලා තියෙන්නේ? C ට. එයාට 0ද? C how much?
5.
C බලන්න මොකද දීලා තියෙන්නේ? C say IS within the no certificate. If no certificate 0 point, ne? අපි කියන්නේ sustain if certificate say no certificate 0 නේද?
The delivery.
Calculate for the delivery.
Sorry, delivery. Sorry, delivery how many weeks? How the B there? B
B.
delivery. B 4 weeks. That means 4 weeks. Within 4 weeks now, how many marks?
5 points.
0.5 the 10 only. Yes. Nah. Make a within 2 weeks done 10. 3 done 7.5. May have 4 weeks done 5. Yeah, 5.
5
Yeah,
points.
5. Yeah. Right. Then warranty කතන්දරේ මොකද? කාටද warranty නැත්තේ? Who has no warranty? C there.
B.
Huh?
B doesn't have.
B. අයාට 0 දාලා අනිත් අයට කීයද ඒතකොට එන්නේ? තියෙනවා නම් තියෙනවා
10.
නැත්නම් නැහැ.
10.
A10. අර C10ද? C10ද?
Yes.
මම මේක තව මේ රෝ එකක් දානවා sustainability 5 කාටද හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්තේ කියන්න බෑ කියලා කියනවල මම දුන්නේ කාලේ හදන්න කියලා මට දැන් මං හැදුවේ නෑ. Right? Sustainability marks කොහොමද?
Only A.
Only A get how much? 5 marks. And it all 0. Sorry. These two people 0. මේගොල්ලෝ 0ද? Hello. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ කොහොමද work එකක් කරන්නේ? මට හදන්න වෙනවනේ.
A and C has a certification.
C has certification. With a
Only A. Only A.
Only A.
ඒක තමයි මම කියන්නේ බලන්න හරියට. B C ට නෑ නේ?
C 0.
0. Right. එතකොට what is the total marks A gate? කියන්නේ ඒ කොච්චරද කියලා? A gate 36
91.
91 ද? හරි 91 කියමු. A 91 කියන්නේ අපේ උත්තරේ තියෙන්නේ නේද? A 75 නේ?
Oh, you can.
What is the score 40 නේ price එකට? 30 quality 15, 10, 5. Right. Okay. අපි බලමු මේක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. So highest marks 91 කියමු අපි කවන්නේ නැහැ. 91 කියමු. මෙතන කීයද? 40
47.
47 something. මෙතන 30 68 78 something නේද? So he is the highest man. No problem. Don't worry about that because මේක බලන්න මේක මම හිතන්නේ. What we have said ranking bidder A
But I get only 75.
නෑ මම හිතන්නේ වැරදිලා වෙන්න ඇත්තට කවන්නේ. It's okay, no problem. That is the way. 91 නම් හරි ඒක. Because මේක හරිද? මේක කීයද 30 B get how much?
47.5.
47. Right. ඒක යන හිතන්න එපා ඔයගොල්ලෝ. ක්‍රමවේදය දැනගන්න ඕනේ. C47 ඒවා මගේව නෙමෙයි ඔය මෙතන. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක්. C get how much?
83.
83. හරි කවන්නේ. Okay, those are the points. So therefore bidder A is the most suitable කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. Right. Now the second method is rated type criteria that also given by the World Bank. World Bank has issued various guidance notes and reports. They have mentioned that. Can you remember in our evaluation methods, I mentioned this rated type criteria and we didn't have time to explain. I said I will explain later on, right? That is the same thing I have put here. That means for value for money, they use rated type criteria to evaluate various factors. That is a tool again. So, I mean, even under methods, we are using tools. Now we have identifying the tools as a separate presentation. Therefore, don't worry about the rated criteria we didn't discuss in the method presentation. It covers here, right? What is rated type criteria? Rated type criteria are used to assess non-price attributes using merit points. I think you know what is the merit point meaning. So I said merit point is where the thing we did here also merit point earlier also. We give 50 marks for price is a merit point. Arbitrarily we are giving, right? That is the problem of some methods. They are normally used in RFP proposals when attributes or differences in attributes among different bids proposal may not be quantifiable. So if the things are not quantifiable, we try to insert some marks using some quantifiable criteria. That means merit. Or the evaluation criteria cannot be expressed in monetary terms, or where a borrower wishes, borrower means a P. Here always think this is the World Bank one now. So borrower means procurement entity wishes to differentiate proposal using merit points. Rated criteria can be used in conjunction with pass-fail criteria. Can you remember when I talk about, I didn't discuss about the pre-qualification yet. I think in the pre-qualification, your next presentation, I have included pre-qualification also. In the pre-qualification, I think I mentioned first stage, we use pass-fail. If the document is there, pass. If the document is not there, fail, right? The other stages, we use the merit points, right? Right? Can you remember? I don't know, I explained. The conjunction, whether we pass in order to rank the initially select applicants, right? So that is using pre-qualification. In the evaluation of proposals, exceptionally of bids, to identify the most advantageous bid. When using rated criteria at the proposal stage of an RFP, rated criteria are assessing the extent to which the firm is able to meet or exceed the requirement to perform the contract, right? So that's what we are looking. Using rated criteria, we see whether they can meet our requirement or exceed our requirement. At the proposal stage, rated criteria may include but not limited to the following features. Number one, to what extent the performance, capacity, or functionability features meet. So we said when you purchase things or other things, we must look at the performance or functionability aspect. This is one thing. The level specified in the performance functional requirement. If they meet or exceed our requirement, that is one criteria. Quality of technical proposal is another one. Quality of technical proposal in terms of the method of statement, key personnel, various things are there. Key personnel, access to key equipment, site organization, safety, quality, various points there we consider. That is basically consider the quality of the technical proposal. Right? That is 1, 2. Number 3, ability to meet the or exceed the sustainable procurement. That is international, always they talk about sustainable requirement, green and various other points, right? So they have identified 3 points. Rated type criteria and under each criteria, there are main sub-criterion also. As appropriate are prioritized, assigned and merit points are weighted. So, for example, technical marks, some say 30. Under 30, there may be sub-criterion, 3 sub-criterion or 4 sub-criterion. So, we have to allocate points for each sub-criterion also. And they are relative, at the relative importance meeting the requirement. The number of criteria and sub-criteria should be kept to the essential minimal. We say don't go large number of criteria, 3 or 4 maximum, main criteria. The scores to be given to each criteria and sub-criteria are specified in the data sheet. So you have to prepare a data sheet for that. How you give marks, like a schedule. And section 3 of World Bank document, a standard procurement document, World Bank, SPD, they have mentioned section 3. Okay, don't worry about that. To help prioritize the rated criteria, a simple prioritization matrix may be used. This is how they prepare. Prioritization of rated criteria. Start by certain table, creating a table as per the example below, with each criteria being identified as a letter in alphabetical order. Right. Second, insert the criteria into the matrix twice. We'll do how they are going to matrix twice. One in the horizontal rows, one in the vertical columns. Right. We'll see. I have given 2 tables because these both are. This is horizontal. This is vertical. Right. Here in one example, they have given only 3. But in another document, they have given 4. Criteria A, B, C, D. Then I put that also. Criteria A, B, C, D. This is vertical. This is horizontal. Don't worry about this much. But this is how you have to start the exercise. Put whatever the criteria here, vertical, and same thing, horizontal. Okay, take each pairing in turn. You get a pair. For example, take A and B. When we consider A and B, what is the best proposal? A or B? If it is B, put B here. When we consider B and C, what is the good proposal? B or C? They say C is good. Considering C and D, D is good. So A is out in terms of the criteria 1. When we come to criteria B, that man is going out because he is not suitable in criteria A. That's how they have given that. Then we consider B and C again. B and C. Out of B and C, B is the best. Out C and D, D is the best. Now B is also out. Now remaining C and D. Out of C and D, D is good. So that's what they say. Then they say take a point in turn, ask the evaluation team to determine which of the two compared against each of is more important in this procurement. Example, compare criterion A against B. If the team decide that B is the most important, then insert the B. That's how we put B here. That's how we put B here. How? It was a if the evaluation team decide that both criteria are equal, then insert A and B both. Here we have no case like that. Supposing here, when we compare B and C, both are good, equal, we can say B and C here. Here we have no problem like that, right? So what we have to do later on? Count the total number of A's, B's, and C's. That's what we have done here in this. How many A's? 0 A's. No A's here. Only B 2 times, C 1 time, D 3 times. You see that? Here say A0, B 2 times, C 1 time, D 3 times. Then, what is this? Prioritize as first, second, third, etc. So, based on that, we prioritize criteria, right? On the basis of the highest count, so that each criteria is ranked, each criterion, not the bidders, each criterion is ranked against the other. So here, who is the highest number of D? D is higher. He is the first. He is the first. Then B second, he is the second. C only 1, third, B has 0, 4. That means most important criteria is what? Criteria D. Second, criteria B. Third, criteria C. Fifth, final is A. But then we can give weightings. That is based on some proportionate. So they have given 40 marks for A, the most important thing, 30 marks for second man, 20 marks for third man, 10 marks for fourth man. It doesn't mean no importance, right? Right? Compare with A and B, B is good. That means A also has some merit. So altogether 100 anyway here. 60 and 90 is 100. Understood? Yes or no? Here they have given different values. Therefore, we can put 40 instead of that. Then you can get the same meaning. It's a document. So put 40. Right? Don't worry about this. You can disqualify this also. But that delete that. And now that this slide is there, everybody understood that rated criteria, how to prioritize criteria? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, then we go forward. Then evaluate of technical scores. The total technical points assigned to each proposal in evaluation proposal formula will be determined by adding and weighing the scores assigned by an evaluation. evaluate. Right. Evaluation committee to technical features of the proposal in accordance with the criteria below. The technical features to be evaluated are generally defined below and specifically defined in the proposal data sheet. Again, we have a proposal data sheet. Number one, to what extent the performance capacity functionality features meet or exceed the relevant specification in the performance, right, of a plan. Then the quality of technical proposal, as we said, the performance part, say performance capacity functionality part, one thing, plan. Then we said technical part. Number two, sustainability. There are 3 points we get sustainability. All right, this is how they have given. Each technical feature may include sub-criteria. Sub-criteria also. Earlier, we didn't consider sub-criteria, only main criteria. Procurement, PDS, procurement documents. PDS means a simple document, PDS. Procurement documents. Score to be given, the score to be given to each technical feature and sub-criteria are specified in the PDS. Procurement document එකේ දෙන්නට ඕනේ. Procurement document. During the evaluation process, the evaluation committee will assign each desirable preferred feature a whole number score as stated in the PDS, right? For example, a score of 10 to 4 may be used where 0 means that feature is absent. Feature is not there. We give 0 marks. We can understand. 1 for the feature being present but showing some deficiencies. Some deficiencies. 2 meeting the requirement, right? Meeting the requirement. Out of 4, then 50% is given. 3 marginally exceeding. The requirement. 4 is given significantly exceeding. Whatever the requirement we have given, it exceeds, then we give the maximum 4 marks. So, how the evaluation is done for each criteria or sub-criteria. This one, read carefully. There are some formula, number of formulas given here, I think 1 or 2, 3 formula here. And then the final combined formula. Right? Understand slowly technical score. How the score of each feature one with the category J, right? TJI. Make a logo කරන්න ඕනේ. Technical is big. Say T, we have to make bigger. Okay, we put 40. Then take another look here. Like this. W WJ. That means the score of each feature, I is the feature, within the category J. We have different categories, right? will be combined with the score of features in the same category as weighted sum to form a category technical score. Category technical score. So we have 3 categories earlier. Say here, quality, performance, quality, and sustainability, right? There are 3 categories. So T is the technical part. We get only technical part here. Into WJI. TJI, the technical score for feature J. WJ is the weight for feature J in the category Y. Weightage, right? W tapi loper marga. Nata meka mata andinda amaru computer. I'm not IT expert, right? K is the number score features in category J. 1 to K, whatever the number. So don't worry that ultimately we get the score, right? Sigma is the summation, right? 1 to any number. They say W, this one is equal to 1. The category technical score will be combined in a weighted sum to form a total technical score using the following formula. Score J and WJI equal to T, right? Technical score, right? So I don't want to bother you much about that, but just try to understand. The category technical score of I, WJ the weight of category J as okay on document, N is the number of categories. So ultimate is that is also equal to 1. Finally, whatever combined technical score is our requirement. From the purchaser will or P will evaluate and compare the proposals that have been determined to be sustainable, substantially responsive. If indicated by the PDA, the purchaser's evaluation of responsive proposal will take into account the technical factors in addition to the cost factors. In such a case, an evaluated proposal score B will be calculated for each responsive proposal using the following formula. I mean, this is the B here, combined technical and financial score. That's what we do. We get the C cost lowest. Say in our example, 90,000 is the lowest. Can you remember? 100,000, 95, and 90. So we have to put the lowest one above the dash and put the relevant cost. For example, if you calculate A was 100,000. Can you remember? Into X. X is the weightage. Say out of 40,000, one is cost, right? Plus T divided by T highest. What is the highest one? 1 minus X. If you have given 40% here, 1 minus X means 60%. So that is how you must understand. C is the evaluated proposal price, this one. C low is the lowest evaluated proposal, this one. T, the total technical score, this is the total technical score, say 30% or whatever the number. T high, the technical score achieved by the proposal, maybe A or B or C, whatever the out of this, he is the highest man. 30 out of 30, he has got 28, for example. Right? Then X is the weight for the price as specified in the PDS. X, maybe 40% price or 50% price or 80% price, right? The proposal with the best evaluated proposal score B among responsive proposals shall be the most advantageous proposal, provided the proposer is qualified to perform the contract. The borrowing The following example shows how price is weighted and combined with the technical and right. That we have given a schedule. I mean, say price weighting, they have given 50%. Then they have decided that, right? You can give 60% or 40% or that depends on the proposal. All other criteria, methodology and work plan, they have allocated 20 marks. It has two sub-criteria, methodology and work plan. Management and technical skills, they have given 13 marks. Management team 5, technical skills 8. Past performance 10. Relevant experience 12. Total technical 50, total financial 50, altogether 100. Okay? Clear up to now? I know a little bit complicated about the formula, don't worry. Just I want to show that formula are there. At least you can get some insight. Yes or no? Before we go to the example, we'll take a small break. Okay,
Okay.
everybody? Okay. Now take this example, how we can use the rated type criteria for evaluation. The rated type criteria indicated in the table above are evaluated according to the method of indicated in table below, right? The example below shows how the weighted score are calculated for each criterion and criterion, the weighting of the intermediate scores and application of the weighting factors for mandatory rated criteria. Each proposal is scored on the scale specified in the SPD for each factor in a rated type. Here, there are a number of evaluators. They say 3 members. Each member does this. For example, for the category 3, past performance, they have given only one example. Past performance, we have given 10 marks, I think, earlier. Here, 10 marks. No, not this example. I think, okay, this is an arbitrary information, past performance, right? The past performance, they have consider 10%. That is the allocated time, scope. The methodology is this, like how to do that. Category 3 past performance, number of similar contracts, that's how they will give marks. Table 1.4, I mean, that is the World Bank document. Minimum of X equal 3 contracts is completed in 5 years. They give 4 out of 10, right? Number of successfully completed contracts that exceed the number of specified in above table specified experience, that are 1 similar to the requirement and 2 completed during the past 7 years. Whatever, that's all depend on the within document. Don't worry about that. The maximum score, they have given 4 marks, 4 out of 10. 10 for the entire performance, 4 is for number of completed contracts. I don't know why you have 2 types. Maybe a mistake. Same thing. I think I have made a mistake. It has typed 2 times. Eh? In case of joint venture, all member combined will be evaluated, right? Right, I think forget about that. This two is a repetition. I think I have made a mistake. Same thing, eh? Okay. Only one slide is necessary, this one, right? So you understand the past performance is 10 marks, out of which sub-criterion is a number of contract completed. So we have given minimum of X equal 3, contract completed in 5 years, and similar to the that are similar one requirement and completed during the past 7 years, whatever, I mean, those are sub-criterion. Here, how they have given marks. number of contracts successfully completed equal or more than 4, the maximum 4 is given, right? Minimum contract plus 3, I mean, X is the completed, and 2 is 2, 1 is 1, 0, 4, no completed contract. If completed 1, 1 marks, 2, 2 marks, 3, 3 marks, 4 or more, 4 marks. That's how they have given 4 marks here. That's how they have given 4 marks here, right? Right? They have allocated marks. Then, based on the proposal, we'll have to allocate marks accordingly. The weighted score for each proposal shown in table below is calculated as W is a weightage. W percent weight for the category of factors as specified in the procurement document. Exam methodology 10%. This is another exam. Methodology 10%. T is the technical score awarded, right? T high, make a T high window. Make a hurry T high. T high, the technical score achieved by the proposal that was scored the best amount. T high. This is T high. T high high must be small letters. Ti, because I did with a lot of difficulties because I don't know how to use this one. And into the weightage. Weightage is 10% here. Right? W is the weightage out of T high into W. This is how they have given marks. Category 1, methodology work plan. Work methodology 4, work plan 3. Category 2, another marks. Another marks. 4 relevant etc. These are the marks they have obtained based on their actual information. Best score here 4, 3. Here is the best man is 3. B, maybe B is A. Here A and C, D are best. Category D, A and D again is the best score. So weighting of scores scored rated type criteria. Category A, B, C, D. Category 1, 4 out of 4 equal into 4, 10. That is 10 marks because A get 4 out of 4, right? Then he get how many marks? 10 marks. Work plan we have allocated 10%. 3 out of 3, 10 marks. It's easy to understand. Here 2 out of 4, I think, yes. He will get only 5 marks. 2 out of 4, 5 marks. 3 out of, here 3 out of 3, again 10 marks. That's how we have given marks for category 1. Category 2 also same, category 3 also that way. And finally, they have calculated the technical score considering 4 factors. 4 categories, right? Highest marks is this one, 47.3A. In the example above, proposal A has the best technical score, 47.3 out of maximum 50. How they have given? So this, from this slide onward, we have explained how they have given marks. How they have allocated marks here. This is the formula. How they have calculated the marks they have got here, like this here. This is the formula. 4 divided by 4 into 4, 10. Right? You try that. Then applying the life cycle costing and combined score. Once each proposal cost has been calculated, it is scored using the following calculation. P equals C low divided by C into W. C equal evaluated proposal cost. Whatever the bidder's price here, C. C low is the lowest price here. W is the weightage. Say price we give 50%, right? For example, proposal B below, C is for 24,000. C low is 21,500. W is 50%. Score 21,000 is the lowest one. Price is 24,300. 50%, that is 44.2. Proposal B. Proposal A must be proposal A. Balaniga. Whatever it is, that's how they are calculated. Now, these are different prices given. A, B, C, D, O. This is another example. The following table illustrates the analysis of
So excuse me.
sorry, sorry, Ken.
Whatever the matrix that the technical committee will take into the consideration for the marks assigning,
Yes.
we'll have to impose into the, we'll have to insert into the bidding documents as namely.
Yes. Namely, the criteria and sub-criteria. For example, category 1, they allocate 20 marks, category 1. How they allocate 20 marks? Methodology 10, work plan 10, right? So that, and for example, experience, they have calculated 12 marks. So how they calculate experience? Supposing, for example, if they have completed 4 contracts or more, they give 12 marks, right? All sub-criterion should be given. Otherwise, bidder doesn't know how he is evaluated. If less than 4 but more than 2, some marks, something like that. All 12 marks, how they will give, it should be given in the procurement documents, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So that all should be given in the procurement document. Otherwise, this one, these are the information A, B, C, D as given, initial price given, yearly O&M of operational management cost in given, residual value, I mean scrap value is given, discounting rate, I mean the price, as you have learned before, we don't consider the price as it is, say 15,000 or 15 million, whatever, 15 million. And we must consider all the operational costs. We consider under life cycle costing, we consider operational cost, maintenance cost, after whatever, and deduct the scrap value, right? All costs we consider, and we have to discount that future cost using a discounting factor. That also should be given in the document. Here they have given 5%. But in Sri Lanka, we normally take 10%, right? Because our interest rate is normally 10, right? Normally, the discount rate is equal to the interest rate, prevailing interest rate on lending bank, on lending rate operating by central bank, right? So it is always 10%, 12%, something like that. So period is 10 years. So if you can remember the life cycle cost formula, sigma, can you remember? Then operating cost into 1 minus 1 plus n, 1 plus I to the power n, something like that. So after calculating, they will come up this figure. That is the net present value, all of this cost, 23 million something, right? Here, different. So that is the net present value. Then using this formula, lowest cost, what is the lowest cost? I think this is the lowest cost here, 21,500. Now they have calculated the score. Right. I think D is the lowest cost. Yeah. D is the lowest cost. C low is 21,500. What we are going to calculate? Cost of A, right? 24,500. But then here. This one, B's one. Yeah, 24,500. What is the technical score? The financial score you will get when you make a hum in a common balance. Here, we have to put the lowest cost above the dash, the actual cost 24,000 into the weightage W. This one, W. This is the formula. B is the evaluated price score. That is 44.2. That's how they have got 44.2 for B. Understood? Agree? Hello?
Yes, I agree, sir.
Yeah, that is the price score. Earlier we calculated the technical score. The B is 37.7. Now you can see the combined price. So A 47.3, 46. Combined is 93.6. This is the finance score is coming from life cycle cost. Technical score, how you have calculate, you know. So this is the combined score for 4 people. So what is the highest combined is A. The analysis of this result shows the proposal D with the lowest cost does not win. You see, he is the lowest price, see, 21,500. But his technical financial score is 50. You see, his financial score is maximum 50 out of 50. What is the highest price? 29,000. He will get only 36.8, low marks. You see, C get only C get 36 points. So ultimately, the contract shall be awarded to the proposal A as it has the highest combined score and is therefore the most advantageous proposal. That is called, World Bank say, most advantageous proposal concept, right? We say lowest evaluated something, no? They say most advantageous evaluated price or something, right? So whatever it is, how they have used the rated criteria for technical and financial and come up with this decision. But there are some advantages and disadvantages they have also identified. Number one, weighted scoring can offer several benefits for bid evaluation, such as enabling you to rank bids based on multiple factors and reducing the risk of bias and subjectivity, because we have considered many factors. This scoring process is transparent and consistent, which facilitate the communication and justification of the evaluation result. That is also okay. Everything we have disclosed in the document, and we use how we give marks, the criteria and sub-criteria, and using the formula, and everything is transparent. Additionally, weighted scoring encourage competition and innovation among bidders, as they can see how they can improve their scores by offering highest quality, better value, or more creative solution. So they also understand how they can win the contract. But there are some disadvantages also. They say weighted score can be a complex and time-consuming process. You all understand to calculate criteria, marks, And sub-criterion, we have to use formula, and then we have to get the combined marks, and a little bit complex, right? Not that complex, but little complex, involving the design and validation of the scoring system, and the assignment of weights, and the application and verification of calculation is little complex. It also be difficult to assign appropriate weights. That is the biggest disadvantage. On what basis we say we give 50 marks for price and 30 marks for quality and things like that? As I mentioned earlier, this is the same thing in the merit point system also. We give some subjective judgment, right? Not different document, different evaluators can decide, a committee can decide different weightages. For example, the considered example, instead of 50% of price, if you give 80% for price and relatively low marks for quality and other factors, definitely the result will change. You try, right, if you really enthusiastic. Additionally, external factors such as market condition or availability of resources may influence the validity of the relevance of criteria or weight. Finally, bidders may request or dispute the scoring methodology, weights or results, and require evidence of documentation to support the decisions. But that is also not very difficult, because everything we should do, there is no subjective judgment once we disclose the criteria and sub-criteria. Even though bidder asks how I got only 32.2 marks for price and something like that, as the table shows, then say C asks, or whoever said, lowest man asks, I am the lowest man. He got the higher, right? So how I was not selected, and A is fairly high price was selected. So you have the calculation. He got only 40.5 technical marks, but whereas A get 47. Otherwise, he will the second lowest, right? So those are the disadvantages of this system, weighting tool or methodology. But how use effectively this system? Weighted scoring can be an effective tool for bid evaluation, but you must adhere to some best practices in order to maximize effectiveness. What are they? You should define the criteria and weight before using. You should define criteria and weight before issuing the before issuing the request for proposal document or bidding document. Normally, that is the case. We have to do everything before, not after, because we have to disclose, no? Include in them the RFP document. Additionally, you should use clear and measurable criteria. Clear and measurable criteria. All criteria you identify is relevant should be clear and measurable. Sometimes you may have some qualitative things also that are relevant to your project or procurement objective, as well as reasonable and realistic weights, realistic weightage. That also subjective, I don't know. So how we can decide 10% or 20% for the sub-criterion, different criteria. Furthermore, you should use the standardized and transparent scoring system. Standardized and transparent. Whatever the scoring you give, you should use a standardized and transparent scoring system that applies the same rules and scales of all bids and document the scoring process and results in detail. So that objectively select that. While weighted scoring is not perfect or foolproof, if applied with care and rigor, it can increase your chances of finding the best proposal for your project. Okay, and so whatever it is, that is also a way to identify. Okay, so I think the rated method is also a good tool we can use for complex evaluation, right? It has some calculations, how to calculate technical score, how to calculate, or technical score, how to calculate the combined score, this one. So this table, if you consider this one, and these are the sub-criteria they have identified, I say this may be subjective. How you have allocate marks is given one example, how to allocate this is sub-criteria. Number of contracts successfully completed, right? Under experience, out of 10, 4 marks. Maximum 4 is given if 4 or more contracts are done. 0 marks given if no experience. Only 1 mark, something like that. So you all decide that. But this sub-criteria is not needed to explain. You can say if 4 or more, 4 marks. That's enough. 3 and 2, 0 is not necessary, right? Or we can just say this one, methodology and work. So experience, whatever the previous experience, 12 marks. How we give 12 marks is not essentially included in the within document. If you can include, no problem. But details are not necessary, but experience, but I think better to explain. If 4 or more, this much, 12 marks. Accordingly, less marks for less experience. Okay, so before we go to the next method, do you have any question to ask? Okay, we'll discuss this one also. Third tool, risk assessment and risk management. I mean, this is a new area. When you evaluate bids, you must consider the procurement risk. Procurement risks basically up to contract award, and after contract award, contract implementation also, there will be some risk, right? So if you don't consider this risk factor as a tool of evaluation, or you forget about the risk, we assume no risk. For example, we say drugs purchasing, right? The delivery period is 2 weeks, for example. So we don't consider the risk factor and assume all bidders to select will be delivered the drugs within 2 weeks. But it is not rational, logical if we don't consider the risk of delivery. If the contract is awarded, what is the risk of delivery? If not, right? If not submitted within the period, what will happen to the health sector performance or delivery of health services? So that is the case, no? We have come across some incidents where we say fuel, for example. If fuel is not delivered, there is a shortage of fuel in the country. There's a big problem. So those are the things we consider under risk, right? It has 2 parts generally, but I'm not going to discuss everything here. Maybe some other time you have a risk management presentation, then we'll discuss more detail. Here we consider as a tool only. Is the management of risk, uncertainty and potential losses, failures. Risk is concerned with uncertainty. Normally, risk is the thing is not certain. Risk is concerned with the possibility of loss or failure. risk management is a discipline which details with the managing risk. So to manage risk, you have to consider risk as a factor. The process of managing risk is as follows. First, define exposures. What are the exposures? Then determine potential loss. Identify available controls. Assess effect and controls, cost. Finally, take actions. Risk assessment. Define exposure. Risk assessment. Define exposures. Under define exposures, identify the risk. You must identify the what type of risk will be there. Identify the hazard. Hazard is the element creating the risk. Example, fire. Identify the perils. Perils is say dangers or threats. Perils are the underlying causes. Example, flames. Welding, etc. Whatever. I don't know. I don't understand this in the welding. Hazard plus perils equal the source of risk. Both. There is no peril identifiable. Example, no combustible material. Then there is no risk source. Some examples of sources of risk are natural hazards, man-made hazard, human deliberate hazard, social political hazard, progressive deterioration, wrong judgment, human error, mistakes, all are sources of risk. The risks and risk management. What are the potential losses? Here we say risk losses. These are potential losses, right? To potential losses or impact is dependent upon, number one, the incidents. Example, i.e., probability of the perils occurring. What is the probability? High probability or low probability? Severity, the degree of damage resulting of the value. So if it happens, what is the damage? Is it severe or minor? This is shown below diagrammically on the next slide. That's I got from international this thing. The instrument for bid evaluation, potential loss or demand. Potential loss has incidence, probability of frequency equals, this equals this into, this into, I don't know, into severity value degree. This into this is equal to this. The pyramid is the traditional way of showing the relationship. Rare, catastrophe, disaster, infrequency, serious, frequent, minor. So if minor is, rare is very small, very frequent is very high. No, we can understand just from this diagram. All right, then available controls. How to avoid action which reduces the probability of loss to zero. What action? How to prevent loss? Action which reduces the probability or frequency, safeguard which break the chain of events. Loss reduction, action which reduces the severity of those risks. I mean, those are too theoretical. We need not to worry about that. I just mentioned. Segregation is another thing. Action which reduces the dependence upon the single asset. Segregation, dividing into two. Duplication, standby backups. I mean, in order to avoid the risk. Contractual transfer for risk control. Responsibility for performing activities transferred to another entity, right? For risk financing, the financial burden or losses is transferred to another entity. Say that's why we ask the bidder to get an insurance, right? Or how to transfer risk to another body rather than procurement entity take the risk. How to apply risk management to contract and bid evaluation, that is our concern. The objective of bid evaluation is the development of a contract which provides value for money, always we say, cost-effective solutions. There are many hazards, not perils, i.e. causes, on the way to the completion of a project, which must be recognized. There are, I mean, specifications. There may be some risk when we prepare specification. Method of obtaining bids, negotiation, contract formation, and contract. There are many, I mean, this is the one risk of all three up to contract award risk. I said there are two types of risk up to contract selection and award, then contract implementation risk. There are many perils that can be classified as reasons related to product service not performing as required. That is one risk. No, say they agree to contract, they perform the contract, but they are not performing. That is a risk as required. Or required not having ability. They don't, even though we selected being able to deliver the construction, they don't have the ability, maybe technical, financial, or whatever. So that then there's another risk. Delays, as I said, even though we want to deliver within 2 weeks, that may be delayed. Due to delay, there may be huge losses to the organization. Cost overruns, that variations, cost variation, physical or price escalations, right? You can say variations. And price escalation. So there are some ways how to mitigate that. We have provision in the guideline how to pass that risk to or about that risk by allocating some provision for contingency provision, things like that. So whatever it is, there are different risks, perils. All these trouble spots, then how should they be managed at the bid evaluation stage? There may be a lot of risk. We can identify these risks, right? Performance risk, contractor's ability risk, delay risk, cost overruns. How all these trouble spots? There is a need to assess. Then that's why we do post qualification. Can you remember? We must consider contractors' capacity and viability of potential suppliers, right? We require some information, even though he is selected as the lowest. we check their evidence and we verify the evidence also. For example, even though bidder say I have the financial resources or cash flow to do the contract, but at the time of contract award, he has signed another contract. Then he has no financial capability. So then the committee should check his latest financial information to understand his financial capacity, right? The suitability, performance, and capability of item service offered, right? Suitability. The cost basis of the offer. What is the basis of cost calculation? The terms put forward. What are the terms put forward by the bidder and the entity? All these factors must be taken into account in the bid. Whatever it is, what I want to conclude you, in addition to all the tools we use to identify the weightage, quality, performance, etc., etc., is another area is the risk. Even if we select the lowest bidder, whether he can perform the contract, whether he will deliver within the expected delivery period, whether he has the capacity, even though he is a good contractor or lowest contractor, whether now he has the capacity because he is having another contract. All the things should be considered. There are some mitigating ways also. All things are important. Okay, risk summary, assess impact, identify potential controls, calculate assess of the control, determine the least cost actions, and implement. Those are the okay. Some points relating to risk. Finally, there is another tool we can say as a evaluation scorecard. It is also used by the donor funding agencies, World Bank, especially. What are evaluation scorecards? Proposal evaluation is a pivotal moment in any request for proposal. We all know. This decision not only directly impact how a government or procurement entity is able to deliver the service to residents, but it also means that some vendors and not others are awarded the government contract and allocate public funds. For this reason, this decision must be fair and transparent. A government's procedures for proposal evaluation should be designed to help staff select the best proposal to streamline results-oriented process. Right? During the RFP evaluation process, the evaluation committee is asked with reviewing the responses of proposers with the goal of selecting the most qualified vendor who can deliver the project, program, or service at a reasonable cost price. In most governments, evaluation committee members individually score. Evaluation committee members individually score each proposal. That is the normal way. Huh? Because then we can consider each evaluated evaluation and get the average. In most cases, the chairperson will not give marks, only the members give. All right. Then there are various ways to consider that. On a set of weighted criteria through some to use ranks, choice, or consensus-based approaches. Some are rank choice. This is the first, the second, like we discussed. When we consider A and B, B is first, good, right? Some ranking. An evaluation scorecard is a tool that helps RFP evaluators and project managers to make selection decisions that are unbiased, consistent, and data-driven. This is also a evaluation tool anyway. today my health is not very good. That's why I'm a little bit tired. And evaluation scorecard clearly define the evaluation criteria and assign each weight out of 100. Weight or sometimes 1000. It is usually in the form of Word document or Excel spreadsheet. You can use Excel spreadsheet easily. Often the scorecard include a rubric with guideline for potential scores. Some heading, rubric means some heading. The tool may also include guidance on which selection of proposal contain information most relevant to a specific evaluation criteria or examples of potential scores for each criteria to make it easier to normalize across evaluators. That's how they are going to use. Evaluation scorecard includes one, RFP scoring provides evaluators a way to grade responses, and compare respective vendors using a streamlined and consistent approach. A best practice scorecard typically include number one, clear instruction with guidance for your evaluation team. This might include guidance on how to read proposals and interpret budget document, an example of content to look for in the top scoring responses, right? So how to give the marks. Define criteria for evaluation with sign spots post to identify where relevant information can be found in proposal. You can make it easier on your evaluators by trying each criterion to a specific set of questions you ask response to answer, or to specific section of your response to template. Whatever it is, that is a method of inserting marks. This for each criteria will be rated. Rubric could be quantitative, maybe quantitative. This is normally easier way, say 1 to 5, or qualitative. What are the qualitative evaluation? Like poor, fair, and excellent. Right? Then we have to use score. For poor, maybe 0, fair is something, good is something, excellent is something out of the marks 12, and should help evaluators align their scoring approaches with each other. Then technical and pricing score. Separating our technical and price scoring can help minimize bias and avoid contracting with a low-cost vendor that can't meet performance standards. Guidance on how to facilitate discussion. For example, you might find it most productive to ask evaluators to share overall impressions before spending time discussing the merits of each proposal. In turn, either group in random order or by starting with the proposal that emerged as common favorite. So that is also methodology. Why use an scorecard? To standardize methodology and definition across evaluation, including a definition or description of strong responses for each evaluation criterion outlined in the RFP helps evaluators understand where to focus, especially when reviewing lengthy proposals. A standard scorecard helps evaluators to calculation accurately and consistently. To reduce cost bias, relevant reveal proposal real strength. separating technical and cost scoring. Always we do that. We separate technical and price separately. Within the template, encourages evaluators to look at each part of the proposal individually and consider proposers' responses to different criteria on their own merit. Distinguishing between cost and narrative helps evaluators to avoid the tendency to overlook technical problems in the proposal, right? So, I mean, those are, we are not using, that is the problem. This type of evaluation we are not practicing. This only for the theory. Therefore, don't worry too much about this thing. That for the sake of understanding, there are evaluation method tools. If you are interested, you go to website, internet, and search the World Bank, ADB, or UNDP, and OECD. They have different documents under which you can identify there are different tools. If you are interested to understand, all right. But here, whatever the tools we use, we have given in our guidelines, right? As I said, only point we have given is we give additional points for the technical proposal, 10 to 20 maximum. Then earlier formula we discussed under detailed bid evaluation is important. All these rated, those scorecard things, but risk, of course, we consider when we prepare bidding document and when we decide the evaluation criteria. That's why we put bidder should have minimum this much of completed contract, similar contract, and various points we put in order to control the risk or avoid the risk or mitigate the risk. So that, of course, we consider risk control points. But the scorecard or weighted method, we are not using for works, goods, and services. Similar methods we use for selection of consultancy, but not under same name, that different names, but some similar calculations. Therefore, I am repeatedly asking, don't worry too much about this jargons, right? To encourage reflection and discussion, doing a side-by-side comparison of proposal scores by each evaluator to help both for the committee facilitator and for the evaluation, as quickly reveals where there is agreement on high or low scoring proposal and where more discussions. That's why I said if one person has given very high marks and some person given a very low marks. Two evaluators has given different marks. Then the coordinator or the chairperson can have a discussion with other members on what grounds, on what basis we have given this, and whereas the other person has given this, and we can come to some sort of agreement or conclusion or consensus regarding the scores. Averaging, or we can ultimately we can average marks. Say X has given for a criteria or sub-criteria to A something. Y, evaluator Y is given different marks. So we can discuss. After discussion, some changes may be made by A, X or Y for A or B proposals. So ultimately what we do is we average the marks. A has given 8 out of 10, B has given 4 out of 10. If we can't come to a consensus, 8 plus 4 divided by 2 is 7, something like that. 8 by 4, 12, 12 by 2 is 6, for example. So averaging individual scores rather than, I can do that another point. Averaging individual scores rather than requiring complete consensus, yes, makes it easier for facilitator to identify proposal as finalist while responding evaluators individual perspective. So final thing is we can average, right? It is easier. To explain to proposers how decisions were made. scorecard that break down scores by evaluation criteria and evaluation criteria. What is this? And specific proposal. Help you identify why some proposals were selected. What is this sound?
Mr. Adhikari, please off your mic. Mr. Adhikari, ka mic
Somebody has opened.
on. Open. Now
Now
it's
it's
closed.
okay. Scorecard that break down scores by evaluation criteria and specific proposal questions help you identify why some proposals were selected as finalists and why others were not, which is particularly important in the event of formal protest or formal protest, that means appeal. So then if the bidder has protest, so then the procurement entity may be able to give an answer why your proposal was not selected. Or when stakeholders such as departmental leaders, city council members, or proposers have questions or concerns about decision made. So not only the bidders' questions, the head of the department or other officials also can get some clarification, justification based on this. Whatever it is, scorecard is also a way of evaluating things. Okay, it's an example. This institute, Long Beach, is an institute. Don't worry, this the World Bank example. Made the shift from consensus based to weighted and score evaluation. Right? The change has allowed the city to evaluate RFP with more structure and consistency and to be more transparent with vendors about how decision is made. To make the shift, Long Beach has developed this evaluation scorecard template while is customized to each RFP. So that is an institute, they have developed a evaluation scorecard template. Here, approach. The Long Beach evaluator scorecard is called as Long Beach scorecard Kela. Used by the procurement specialists and evaluators. So they go to do it. Once the RFP closes, the procurement specialist enters the name of all proposers and the names of evaluators. Proposers, that means bidders, as well as evaluators. These fields automatically populate throughout the score sheet, right? The score sheet incorporates the following features. That is the features, these are the features of the scorecard introduced by this company. Clear instructions. There are instructions for the procurement specialist who administers the evaluation as well as for evaluators, right? So experts. Define criteria. The scorecard provides, like previous things, these are instructions for the procurement specialist the scorecard provides space for procurement specialists to enter the weight and description for evaluation criteria from RFP. Most RFPs use this standard criteria with customized definition and weights. That is their customized method evaluation. However, criteria can be changed, added or removed for highly specialized. This is a normal practice, general practice, but specialized they can change. Rubric, the scorecard includes the built-in rubric for evaluators to use with 5 ratings. they have given 5 ratings. One is not applicable, poor, fair, good, and excellent. These are the 5 ratings they have identified in the scorecard. Long Beach protest. Long Beach protest these qualitative rating to numbers as they are more user-friendly. So, I mean, as I said, if you have a qualitative thing, it is difficult to come to a conclusion, then we have to identify in a quantitative way. The scorecard also automatically translates qualitative scores into numbers to calculate numeric scores. And if a weight don't add up to 100%, an error message appears. And if the weight that don't add up to 100, error message comes. Number 4, individual scoring. The procurement specialists create a copy of the file of each evaluator to complete their own draft score sheet. Evaluators are briefed on their role. They can each receive link to their draft score sheet along with the RFP documents and proposals via SharePoint. That is their IT SharePoint each independently. Okay. So finally, the number 5, guidance for discussion. The scorecard includes guidance on how to facilitate discussion during the evaluation. It automatically averages. That's how the system has made the scores from each evaluator and ranks them, thereby helping evaluators to identify variation in their scoring. In Long Beach, variations are discussed to evaluate important differences in opinion based on differences in expertise or interpretation. And evaluators have an opportunity to update their scores based on discussion, right? With the top scores are selected. Top scores are selected. So whatever it is, that is the method, right? Conclusion of this one, the proposal evaluation stage in the most consequential point in the procurement process. All the work up to this point has led up to this moment to finding the right vendor to deliver service at the right price. By implementing a thoroughful approach to proposal evaluation, you can greatly improve chances of fairly and transparent selecting a high quality proposal while also make it easier on you and your evaluation team. But scorecard aren't the only piece. This is not the only piece of evaluating puzzle. As we discussed, there are many other methods. For more information on how to customize your approach to propose while still balancing fairness, consistency, openness, and efficiency, check out how to guide proposal evaluation tips and tricks how to select. I mean, that is, you have to check from the web, right? So that is the guide they have given. So I don't want to read out this also. You can just read out the guide. Evaluation criteria, right? Sample evaluation criteria. This is how they have given the weightage: technical expertise, capabilities, data security, HR policies for a particular procurement. Weighting, scoring, prioritize the criteria but are most important to your business. Okay, they have given suggestions. Right, it is also right. This one they have given, if you read this one, evaluation criteria, overall experience of company and demonstrated results, right? They have given 35 marks. Our evaluation will include an assessment of the history of your company, your experience as it relates to the requirements within the RFP, evidence of past performance, quality, and relevance of past work activities, point 35. Strategic thinking, planning approach, overall approach, and strategy described, outlined in the proposal, and firm capacity to perform the engagement this much. Budget approach, cost effectiveness. Effective and efficient delivery of quality service is demonstrated in relation to the budget allocation. The allocation is responsible and appropriate. So 25 altogether. Participant additional potential points, 6 points. The RFP break down the proposal scoring process into 4 rounds. Interestingly, the first 2 are pass-fail, that are deal breakers. Fail is the out people. This tag evaluation help vendors quickly understand if they will be able to win the business. Okay. Round 1 and 2. Minimum qualification. Vendor will be evaluated based on the following category. Minimum qualification. If it is yes, pass, otherwise fail. Mandated technical requirement. If it is yes, pass, otherwise out. Round 1 and 2 is done that way. Round 3, preliminary proposal, management proposal, technical proposal, inclusion plan, whatever, they have allocate marks. I said in some cases they give marks out of 1,000 because 200 is too small to give subdivision. Round 3 total is 1,000. Round 4, final cost 200, demonstration this much, management interviews 250, reference are 300, again 1,000. I mean, those are different systems international use, right? How they allocate marks for cards. I don't want to read out everything. So you can just read for your understanding. General understanding is sufficient. I don't want to, because it's too theoretical. I also don't like this practice also. So you can refer this schedules also, how we can view marks. Okay, this one. This is also available. I mean, there are different software available for this. Procurement management tool software. Various names I got from the internet. Virtual, AP, Arabia, whatever, I don't know, you just read. There are a large number of software, right? Okay, right? So choosing the right procurement management tool or software. I mean, we at the moment in Sri Lanka, we are not using any software for evaluation or tool. Maybe in the future, once our EGP project is in full potential, we can think of a different evaluation inbuilt to the system, right? Maybe this method or mixture of this method that is come. But at the moment, we are using manual evaluation using some tools. Not these tools, but some tools, right? Finally, choosing the right management tool or software is crucial for business looking to optimize their purchasing processes. The list here highlights some of the best tools available. I mean, they recommend a best tool, each with unique features and benefits. Among them, virtual requirements, alarm platform, stands, out as a, there are two as a virtue. I think virtue and alarm platform stand out as a comprehensive and powerful solution for procurement management. It's vendor management, contract management, supplier collaboration, sourcing, RFA management, purchase order management, whatever. Evaluate your specific requirements and select the tool that best align with your organization's needs and etc. So that is some of the software available for your understanding or your knowledge. That's all I can discuss. Sorry, because I'm not fit to talk much. But if you have any question, you can ask. Any question regarding your assignments also you can ask briefly.
Sir, excuse
Yes,
me.
yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ask. Yes, please, continue.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes. I can hear you.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you. You can't hear me? Hello? Who is speaking, please? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Okay, I can hear you. Please ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is the meaning of contract award determination? Is that same to contract award?
Yeah, contract award determination is given by the procurement committee. That is the recommendation given for the award, right? That is same as the contract award recommendation. But it is only a recommendation that has to be approved by the approving authority, right? Approving authority may be the head of the department,
Okay, sir.
something like that. That is the same thing. Okay.
So another concern
Okay.
with regards that pointed matter,
Okay.
the contract award determinations mean we can we consider the stencil period in between award and
Yeah.
that means are there any precise date that we
Yes.
have
Yeah.
mentioned on the guideline?
Yes. So once the contract award determination is decided by the respective committee, then that will be informed to the procurement officials or whoever in charge. Then they will inform, not the committee will send any letters to the respective aggrieved bidders or not selected bidders within this period. That the period is different. For high-level procurement, they are given 2 weeks, for example. The lower procurement, less period. That is called the standstill period, as you said. And within that period, if they have any objections, they can put forward with self-explanatory notes, right? Evidence. So you all both are correct. That is the contract award determination, right? They have determined to award the contract to Mr. X for this amount. If you have any object,
Sir, is it mandatory to give at least 2 weeks for the those who are willing to appeal?
At the moment, according to our previous guideline, 2006 guideline, we have given, I think, 2 weeks for high-level procurement, cabinet level or ministry level, big procurements. But in now, as I mentioned, we have finalized our guideline, right? And we have given different dates for different procurements, right? That means department level, project level, regional level, we have given less time period. For example, lowest, I think the 3 days or something, right? That you will come to know when the procurement guidelines issued. So we will have a meeting with the Honorable President next Monday with our new guidelines.
Sir, is there a time period between contract signing and the contract award?
Contract?
Agreement signing and the
Ah,
contract
yeah. That is also depending on the value. Maximum is 2 weeks again. Once we send the letter of award, right? Once we send the letter for now, we are the standstill period is finished. We have finally approved. Then we send the letter of award or purchase order in case of small procurement. Right, then the contractor or supplier should come to our office and sign the contract agreement within the certain period. The maximum period we have detailed in the guideline is, I think, 2 weeks, 14 days. Right?
14 days normally.
Yeah. To keep the performance security and all. Okay.
No, sir, that is mentioned in the contract awarding letter. After the contract awarding letter issued, within the
Okay.
14 days, the contract should come. Is that
The
correct?
same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. We send a letter, Mr. Contractor, you have been selected for this contract. Please come and sign the contract agreement. That is called the letter of award. If he cannot come within that period, he will be punished. His security will be forfeited. And we go for the next lowest and send the same letter. The time we given is only 14 days.
Yes, sir, that's okay. I mean, I want to know after the contract agreement, the agreement signing, and
Okay.
the contract award letter is issued.
No.
Between that-
No, after the contract is signed, there is no letter. The letter.
Okay.
I mean, letter is, award is given, everything is in the contract agreement then. That is the binding agreement. The money, evaluate contract price, everything is given in the contract agreement. Maybe lump sum contract or the measure and pay contract, whatever the contract, that is the binding document. There is no letter of award after that.
Then purchase order issued.
Yeah,
after the
purchase order is issued in lieu of the award of contract award letter. I mean, for standard practice, say if you want to buy 5 computers, we send directly a purchase order rather than a letter of award. Same meaning, but 2 different documents. Same purpose.
Sir, in our corporation,
Okay.
purchase order issued is once the contract agreement is signed.
Purchase order, but how can? Yeah. Purchase contract award. Sorry, I are confused a little bit. So whatever it is, purchase order is the final thing. In case of purchase order, there is no agreement. That's the point. A small purchases, no. Small purchases, I mean, according to our guideline, if
No,
the
yes, sir, that's correct for good.
Yeah.
That's correct for small goods.
Yeah.
I mean construction contracts, intermediate level or
Yeah, construction contract. Once the person is selected, we send a letter. Everything is finished now. The evaluation finished. Standstill period. Protest. Everything finished. Now we determine X is the contractor or company. So we send a letter of award right? To the contractor, Mr. Contractor, you have been selected for this construction work, for example. Please come and sign the agreement.
Yeah.
It is
That's
part and contract award
okay.
is part and parcel of the contract agreement, right? So
Okay.
in the contract agreement, we give the merit of the document. What is the binding? 1, 2, 3, 4, we have given, no? Where the contract, yeah. So where the BOQ comes, where the whatever the various documents are there, no? The order of merit kya again happy. So whatever it is, contract agreement is the binding. First one. No?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
then.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much. Any question regarding your assignments? Now you got all 3 assignments, right? Decision making assignment also you got? You got the 3rd assignment also? Oh, please speak up.
No, no.
Not yet. But our who again, so she said Sandhuni said she will upload, already uploaded. I don't know. You check. If you have any question, you can ask, right? That is a straightforward assignment, but you will have to demonstrate your entire knowledge. We start from all the presentation we learn that will covered from this this assignment. Therefore,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
And the assignment already uploaded to the LMS, sir.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay. Okay, then shall we finish? Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.